What's up everyone, it's Busari. Databases are the backbone of, well, pretty much everything tech these days. And if you're looking to level up your skills, understanding SQL is key. In this video, we're diving headfirst into SQL. Don't worry, it's way less scary than it sounds. We'll break down the basics, show you what it can do, and even get hands-on with some essential commands. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll be well on your way to speaking the language of data like a pro. So, first things first, what exactly is SQL? You might have heard the term thrown around in tech circles, but what does it really mean? Think of it like this. SQL, or Structured Query Language, is the universal language for talking to databases. It's a standardized way to interact with the data stored in a database, making it possible to retrieve, update, insert, and delete data efficiently. Imagine you walk into a library. SQL is how you tell the librarian exactly which book you're looking for. Just like you would use specific words to ask for a book, SQL uses specific commands to ask for data. It lets you access, manipulate, and even define how that data is organized. For instance, you can create new tables to store data, update existing records, or delete data that is no longer needed. It's incredibly versatile. Now you might be wondering, why is this even important? Well, SQL is everywhere. It's not just a tool for tech professionals, it's a fundamental skill that has applications across various industries. Finance, healthcare, tech, e-commerce, you name it. They're all using SQL to manage massive amounts of data. In finance, SQL helps analysts to pull and analyze transaction data. In healthcare, it helps manage patient records and treatment histories. In tech, developers use it to build and maintain applications. And in e-commerce, it helps manage inventory, customer data, and sales transactions. Whether you're analyzing trends, building apps, or just curious about how data works, SQL is an essential skill to have in your arsenal. Learning SQL can open up a world of opportunities, making you more versatile and valuable in the job market. Plus, it's a skill that can be applied to personal projects like managing your own data or building a small application. So if you haven't already, it's definitely worth diving into the world of SQL. Okay, so we know SQL is used to talk to databases, but what kind of conversations are we having here? Well, SQL is surprisingly versatile. Want to pull up specific records? SQL's got you covered. Need to add, update, or even delete data? SQL can handle it. But it doesn't stop there. You can actually design entire databases using SQL, defining tables, relationships, the whole 9 yards. And if you're worried about security, SQL lets you control who has access to what. It's not just about retrieving data, it's about managing and understanding it in a way that's efficient and honestly pretty powerful. Now, SQL is specifically designed for relational databases. Think of these like giant, well-organized spreadsheets where data is stored in tables with rows and columns. Popular ones you might have heard of are MySQL, PostgreSQL, even Microsoft SQL Server. So when would you actually use SQL in the real world? Picture this. You're working with a business intelligence system, crunching numbers to generate reports. That's SQL in action. Or maybe you're building a web app. SQL is working behind the scenes, managing all the user data, analyzing sales trends, customer behavior, even streamlining workflows. SQL is the engine driving it all. Alright, time to get our hands dirty with some actual SQL commands. SQL, or Structured Query Language, is the backbone of database management. It's the language that allows us to interact with the data stored in our databases. Whether you're creating a new database, modifying an existing one, or querying data, SQL is your go-to tool. Don't worry, we're starting with the basics. First up, create database. This command is fundamental because it sets the stage for everything else. Without a database, there's no place to store your data. Think of it as laying the foundation for a building. Pretty self-explanatory. This is how you create a new database to store your data. You can specify various parameters like the database name, character set, and collation. Next, let's move on to alter database. This command lets you modify an existing database, like changing its size or security settings. For instance, you might need to increase the storage capacity as your data grows or adjust security settings to protect sensitive information. Think of it like customizing your database setup. You have the flexibility to make changes as your needs evolve. Now let's talk about tables, which are the core components of any database. Tables are where your data actually resides. They are structured in rows and columns, much like a spreadsheet. Each table should be designed to store data about a specific topic or entity. Create Table does exactly what it says. It creates a new table within your database. You define the columns, data types, and constraints. For example, you might create a table to store customer information with columns for name, email, and phone number. You define the columns, data types, the whole structure. This is crucial because the structure of your table determines how data is stored and retrieved. Proper planning at this stage can save you a lot of headaches later on. Need to make changes to an existing table? Alter Table is your go-to. This command allows you to add new columns, modify existing ones, or even drop columns that are no longer needed. Alter Table is your go-to. It's a versatile command that gives you the flexibility to adapt your table structure as your requirements change. For instance, you might need to add a new column to store additional information or change the data type of an existing column to accommodate different kinds of data. Add columns, modify data types, you've got options. This flexibility is one of the strengths of SQL, allowing you to evolve your database schema without starting from scratch. Time to populate our table with some data. The Insert Into command lets you add new records row by row. This is how you actually get data into your tables. Insert Into lets you add new records row by row. You can insert data into all columns or specify only the columns you want to populate. This command is essential for data entry and is often used in conjunction with forms and applications. Want to see what's in your table? Select is your best friend. This command retrieves data based on your criteria, allowing you to view and analyze the information stored in your tables. Select is your best friend. You can use it to fetch specific columns, filter rows based on conditions, and even join multiple tables to get a comprehensive view of your data. It's a powerful tool for data analysis and reporting. This command retrieves data based on your criteria. You can use various clauses like where, order by, and group by to refine your queries and get exactly the data you need. Need to update existing records? Update has you covered. This command allows you to modify data in your tables whether you're changing a single value or updating multiple rows at once. Change values, modify data, it's all possible. You can use conditions to specify which rows to update, ensuring that only the relevant data is modified. And if you need to remove records entirely, delete will take care of that. This command allows you to delete rows from a table based on specified conditions. Delete will take care of that. Just be careful with this one. Deletions are usually permanent. Always double-check your conditions to avoid accidentally removing important data. Just be careful with this one. Deletions are usually permanent. It's a good practice to back up your data before performing delete operations, just in case. Finally, if you need to delete an entire table, Drop Table will do the trick. This command removes the table and all its data from the database. Drop Table will do the trick. Again, use this one with caution. Deleting a table is irreversible and all the data within it will be lost. Again, use this one with caution. Always make sure you have a backup before dropping tables, especially in a production environment. And there you have it, your beginner's toolkit for SQL. With these commands, you're well on your way to becoming proficient in database management. Happy coding! So, we've covered the fundamentals of SQL, from what it is to some essential commands. But this is really just the tip of the iceberg. SQL is a vast and powerful language, and the more you learn, the more you can do with it. Think of it like learning a new language. You start with basic phrases, but eventually you're holding full conversations. With SQL, you can start exploring advanced concepts like joins, subqueries, even database optimization techniques. As you delve deeper, you'll find that SQL is not just about writing queries, it's about understanding how data is structured, how it flows, and how it can be manipulated to extract meaningful insights. Imagine being able to take raw data and transform it into actionable information that can drive decisions and strategies. This is the power of SQL. With SQL, you can start exploring advanced concepts like joins, subqueries, even database optimization techniques. These skills are crucial for anyone looking to work with large datasets or complex databases. The world of data is constantly evolving, and SQL is your key to unlocking its potential. As new technologies emerge and data becomes more integral to our lives, the ability to harness and interpret this data becomes increasingly valuable. Whether you're a budding data scientist, a developer, or just someone who wants to understand how data shapes our world, mastering SQL is an investment that will pay off in spades. Imagine being able to create complex reports, automate data processing tasks, and even develop applications that can interact with databases seamlessly. These are just a few of the possibilities that open up when you become proficient in SQL. The journey doesn't stop here. There are numerous resources available to help you continue your learning. Online courses, tutorials, and community forums can provide you with the knowledge and support you need to advance your skills. So take the next step. Dive deeper into SQL, explore its advanced features, and see how it can transform the way you work with data. The investment you make in mastering SQL will undoubtedly pay off, opening doors to new opportunities and career advancements. That's it for our crash course on SQL basics. Hopefully you're feeling a lot more comfortable with the language and what it can do. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't be afraid to experiment and explore. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of SQL, hit that like button and subscribe for more tech tutorials coming your way, and be sure to let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Until then, keep that data flowing.